We all want to be happier. Now, I'm not talking about the hanging from the chandelier happy or living in la la land happy. I'm talking about a deep-seated, enduring happiness within ourselves that allows us to get through life and live with confidence that we can cope with anything that may come along. Now, it may surprise you that achieving that level of happiness is not all that hard. In fact, it's as simple as sending an email. G'day and welcome to Becoming More. My name is Willem. Over 30 years ago, my mentor, Mr. Jim Rohn, told me that if I wanted to have more in life, if I wanted to get more out of life, I needed to become more. So on this channel, I share the philosophies and the fundamentals that Mr. Rohn shared with me all those years ago. And I have found that by constantly executing on those principles and living them on a daily basis, making daily habits from them, I've been able to live a life on my terms, and I truly wish the same for you. There's a sinister and pervading myth in society and in social media. And that myth is this, that in order to be happy, we need to be successful. Now, I would really ask you to forget that myth, get it right out of your head, because I have found over the years that the direct opposite is true. That if we are happy, we become more successful. Mr. Rohn put it this way. He said, happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design today, in the present. So in this video, I would like to share with you 3 emails. That's right, I said emails that you can send each day, 3 types of emails. And I promise you that if you send one of these emails each day, 2 people's lives are going to be happier. Number 1, the person receiving it, and number 2, you. Now, if you are an employee or work for a boss, I can promise you that email number 3 could forever dramatically change your career for the better. So that's going to be worth hanging around for. And if you stay till the end of the video, I will actually share with you a bonus email that you may find will again take you to the next level in either your career or in your business or your own personal development. So stick around for that. Now, let's dive straight into email number 1. And email number 1, and make this part of your morning routine. Send an email to either your spouse, a friend, or someone in your family. Now, this might sound silly, but there's tons and tons of research that have proven that by sending an email or sending a note or a letter to someone that you care about first thing in the morning actually does make you happier. In his book, The Happiness Advantage, Sean Aker quotes a Harvard professor who says that, "This is why I often ask managers to write an email of praise or thanks to a friend or family member each morning before they start their day's work, not just because it contributes to their own happiness, but because it literally cements a relationship." So by sending a message or an email to someone you care about first thing in the morning, 3 things happen. Number 1, they feel better. Number 2, you feel better. And number 3, your relationship is cemented that much further. Only this morning, just before I sat down to shoot this video, I sent Jen a quick message and I thanked her for cooking dinner last night. It was really delicious. It was a pasta dish with meatballs and it was superb. And I just sent a quick message to say thank you. I really enjoyed it. Appreciated the effort and time that you put into it. Those sort of things don't take a lot of time, but they do deepen relationships. Let's go to email 2. Now, the second email that I would recommend you send, if you don't want to send the first one, is an email to a work colleague or an employee. When I first started in business at age 24, many years ago now, I ran a cafe and restaurant in Bright in northeast Victoria, near the ski fields here in the state of Victoria. And what we did was we gave everybody on the team their own little pigeonhole or box for communications. But the thing that we really encouraged, we gave everybody a stack of thank you notes on a pad. And what we encouraged everyone on the team to do was to thank someone on the team for something they did during the day. And I found the camaraderie and the good feelings that people got from that was quite incredible. I actually had one lady who worked with us, she used to treasure these notes so much from her fellow workmates. She used to take them home every night, and she had a special box sitting on the mantelpiece at home, and she would put these notes in that box at the end of every shift. So sending a thank you email to a work colleague or someone you work to has a dramatic effect not only on yourself but on the person receiving the thank you. I've employed people for over 40 years now, and yes, salary does matter, conditions do matter, I understand that. But what really makes an impact on people is recognition. My favorite book on management is probably The 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard. It's only a short book. Mr. Blanchard was very wise. He found out that most Americans only read one chapter of a book, so he only made it one chapter. You can read it in 40 minutes, and it will tell you everything you need to know to be a great leader and a good manager. And one of the keys that Ken Blanchard puts forward is this: 1 minute praisings. Spend time catching people doing things right. Now, over my years, I've had many people say to me, William, well, why? That's what I pay people to do. And yes, that's why they're paid to do. They're paid to do a job. But I tell you, if you want people to go to the next level for you, thank them, catch them doing things right. Take time to write an email, write a thank you note. It doesn't matter how you do it, but say thank you. It really does make an enormous difference. Now, let's go to email 3. And I promised you at the beginning of this video that this could dramatically change your career. And so the third email that I would invite you to write once a week is an email to your boss or your senior manager, telling him or her what you've actually achieved for them and for the company in the past week. Now, most people in senior positions, they're very busy, they get paid high salaries, and there's a reason why they get paid high salaries. They're expected to produce big time. So they often don't have time to think about what you're doing, how your career is going, whether or not you need extra resources, whether you're struggling. So my advice to you is this: get proactive, get on the front foot, and send your boss an email first. By sending an email to your boss and being proactive, demonstrating what it is you've actually achieved for them during the week, you are getting on the front foot. You are demonstrating that you are competent and that you have leadership qualities. And as Harvard professor Jeffrey Pfeffer says, that's the key to success in any organization. He says, and I quote, "You should make sure that your performance is visible to your boss and your accomplishments are visible. Your superiors in the organization have their own jobs, are managing their own careers, and are busy human beings. Please don't assume that they are spending all their time thinking about you and worrying about you and your career." So there you have it. I assure you that as a CEO and someone who's employed hundreds of people over the years, if someone wants to do that for me and send me an email on a Friday afternoon, Friday lunchtime, about what it is they'd actually achieved during that week, I would be impressed. I would actually say, wow, I've got me one here. So give it a try. You have nothing to lose. And if you find it gets results or you get feedback from your superiors or boss, please leave a comment below, because I would love to hear the stories that come out of this idea. Now, at the very beginning, I promised you a bonus email, and it's this: send an email to a mentor or someone who's a little further down the road than where you are right now today. Only a short time ago, I received an email from a gentleman who lives not too far away from me, around 3 hours from Melbourne. He runs his own cleaning business there. He cleans a lot of Airbnb properties. He sent me a really lovely email. He said, "Will, you've been in business now for 22 years in your contract cleaning company. You're obviously very successful at it. Could I spend some time with you and run a couple of things past you?" I was so impressed that he was prepared to reach out and contact me that I certainly agreed. And we actually spent 3 hours together, and we're now in regular communication. So there's my bonus email. Reach out to someone who you admire, someone who's succeeding in business at a higher level than you, or someone who's succeeding in your organization at a higher level than you, and say, "Look, I see what you're doing. You're obviously making an impression. Could I spend some time with you? Could you share some ideas with me? Mr. Rohn used to say, poor people should take rich people out to lunch. Spend the whole 2 hours, put on entree, main course, dessert, the whole shebang. He said, success leaves clues. And if you spend a couple of hours with someone who has succeeded in a level that you'd like to succeed in, you can learn an incredible amount. You could literally save years of making mistakes and bad experiences by taking this step. Now, I understand poor people say, well, I can't afford to take people out to lunch, which is why they get stuck where they are. So there's an even bonus tip. Take someone successful out to lunch. Ask them, how did they get to where they are today? Now, I can hear you say, well, that's all very good, Will, but what should I write? What should I put in the email so that people will actually read it? And that's a really good question. It's too long to cover in this video, but what I've done is I've created a PDF. There's a link to it in the description below. You can click on there, and I've given several examples of what you could say, what you could write in an email to really make people sit up, take notice, and possibly give you the time to have an appointment with them where you can ask some really probing questions and really get some great answers to questions that might be stopping you from moving forward right now. So just click on that link below and you can download that PDF. So I would strongly encourage you to send an email every morning. It doesn't take long, but it has to be part of your morning routine. So if you found this video useful, and I reckon email 3 is worth the time on the video alone, I promise it'll get you results. Please like it and even consider subscribing to the channel. Love to see you here for the next video. Now, if you're going to take this action, and I strongly encourage you to, if you're going to write an email each and every morning, it's only going to take you literally 2-3 minutes. That's all it's going to take. But it has to be part of your habits. It has to be part of your morning routine. Now, if you don't have a morning routine, but you'd like to learn how to put one together, I would encourage you to watch this video where I discuss how I put my morning routine together and how I keep myself accountable each and every morning. Thanks for watching. Remember, till next time, live life on your terms.